Are you talking shift? We are. It's time for the We're Talking Shift podcast. Now. Here to talk shift are your hosts, Loree Bischoff and Candice Parisi. We're Talking Shift.
Hi, I'm Candice Parisi.
Hi, I'm Loree Bischoff. Welcome to We're Talking Shift. This is the podcast where we talk shift because we think that shifting our thinking is the antidote to feeling stuck.
Damn right. I like that a lot.
Yeah.
Hey, so today we're going to talk about why are people so rude? Why are people so rude?
Yeah, it seems like it seems oh, you actually want an answer.
Yeah.
All right. No, but it does. And we have to talk about it because it seems like common courtesy and manners and accountability is sort of like becoming a thing of the past. Is it just, are we just more sensitive to it, or are people just really getting more rude? Like, I mean, is it like that all over the globe? You've traveled around. Have you been in other countries where it seems like people are rude, or are they more polite than we are here?
Yeah, I have been all over the place. You know where my favorite place is? It's not out of the United States. It's in the United States. It's Philadelphia. I feel like Philadelphia is the right amount of rude. I think that when I first moved to Philadelphia a long time ago, it freaked me out because every time I would do almost anything, somebody would tell me to go fuck myself. And at first I was like, this is a really rude city. This is a really rude place. But then over time it became endearing because it was a way of them expressing, yes, they wanted me to go fuck myself, but they were telling me the truth. They were being rude in a positive kind of way. And it stuck with me. And I think that it sticks with me today. I think I'm rude in a positive way. I think Philadelphia is my favorite place that I've ever been because I feel like everybody's being honest. Like that's how they actually feel. Why are we being all nice to each other? Like I was in Switzerland recently, just in the last couple of weeks, and everybody was like absurdly nice. And it made me think that maybe I was being lied to. Like that's not how you actually feel. You wish that I spoke a different language, a better language. Like, why are you being so nice to me? I'm always in question because I lived in Philly for so long where everybody would just let you know. You know what I'm saying? Have you ever been to Philly?
I have not. Not. But I get what you're saying about Switzerland because I've been to Japan a couple of times, and that has got to be like the most polite culture I've ever experienced. And so I get that.
Really? Like how? What do they do?
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's just, it's very respectful.
Okay.
You can walk down the streets there and vendors and store owners and shopkeepers have all of their stuff sitting out on the sidewalks and nobody steals anything there. It's everyone is very respectful for the most part. It's a very respectful culture. And, there's constant bowing and and thank yous. And it's just very extremely polite. So on the one hand, it's very nice. It's very civil in that manner. But I hear what you're saying about sincerity.
Yeah, don't you think they go home and they're like, fuck that lady I just saw on the street that I bowed to? Like, do you think that when he's bowing to you and being sweet, he's like, this is how I actually feel? Or is he putting on a show? That's what I'm always paying attention to. Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I mean, so there's two sides to that coin. There really is. But then there's the other side, which is like, for instance, I was having this conversation. It came up when I was talking to my daughter, Montana, a couple of weeks ago. And, she's in California. And as we all know, the whole state is like a blaze. It's burning to ashes. And so it's to say things are a little tense and stressful over there is an understatement. And so you have one of the things that she was telling me was that, everybody was trying to get home from work or to work or from, and traffic is always off the charts insane there, no matter what time of day. And you have, she's like, there's this guy in this gigantic big truck, and he's just trying to, rudely barrel his way onto the, road, and honking and blaring and driving like a crazy person and just being a complete asshole. And she's like, everybody is worried and stressed right now. There's a lot going on. Could you just not be like you're the only important thing in the universe right now? Could you just, could you just relax and be a little thoughtful and maybe try to promote a little bit of harmony here rather than being the one that's careening around, making everybody even more on edge? So so there's the flip side. Yeah, it's nice to be able to be honest and sincere, but where is the line between that and just being, common courtesy and thoughtfulness?
Yeah, but do you think that he is acting out like a child? Like he's probably under a lot of stress and he feels scared, and some people revert to being a 10-year-old and start throwing their toys. Maybe that's what he's up to. Maybe he's maybe all that stress, the terrible fires, all the things that are happening in his life. Now he's being a jerk because he doesn't know how to navigate his own emotions. Or be emotionally intelligent inside of a situation. Instead, he throws his toys,
Yeah. Well, clearly that's what people like that are doing. They're, but again, as an adult, really, does somebody have to teach you now that you're an adult? You're big enough and old enough to drive. So can't you just use a little bit of logic? And compose yourself a little more mature, and get your shit together. And, so yeah, maybe he doesn't know how, but if he wanted to know how, he could. Because, if you're driving, you're probably not a complete imbecile.
Right. Well, when I drive, I'm a terrible driver, and I'm just really bad at driving. And so the other day I was driving down the street. And actually, I was driving out of a parking lot of a grocery store. It was like 4 days ago. And I came around a corner, and I went the wrong way or something. And somebody beeped and looked at me and pointed and mouthed that I should just go F off or something. And he just got very, very, very upset about something super stupid. And so instead of me going, oh man, I am a bad driver and I get it. The filly came out in me. So I was like, all right, let's have a confrontation. Because I'm at the belief that if somebody's being rude to me, if they're in my life, if the universe has put somebody in my life to be rude, they really want to talk to me and for me to give them something in return that's not always positive. So I got out of the car. Right. That's how I rationalized it. I got out of the car and I parked so that he couldn't move. So first of all, very aggressive. I got out of the car and I walked over very nicely and tapped on his window, and he rolled down his window. And he was a cute little old man, a super nice guy. And
real nice.
Yeah,
super nice. In fact.
Yeah, I said, hey, it seems like it seems like you want me to go fuck myself. It seemed like you were saying that. Do you want to tell me that right now? Is there something else you want to tell me? Anything at all? Because I don't know what's going on in your life, but I just think that this is not such a big deal. I'm so sorry I got in your way. And he was like, well, no, I mean, I'm sorry. And so a lot of times people have big mouths, when they're behind the glass of the window of their car. But right to my face, he was like, no, I've just had a bad day. And I was like, all right, cool. Well, I'm sending you lots of love and have a good rest of your day. But, people, and that's the same thing as on the internet, right? Like you could say all sorts of crazy shit to people from a distance, but right to somebody's face, it's harder to be rude because then there's a consequence of interaction that we don't have nowadays on Facebook, on Instagram, on Twitter, on all the different places, that, and behind the window of our car where we feel like we're safe to just be a dick,
Yeah, well, yeah, it's you could call it being safe, or you could call it just being a coward because you are safe. So it's kind of a cowardly way, I think, to express negativity when you're safe from consequences and repercussions. So, it doesn't take anybody that has any real boldness in them to be rude and to be an asshole when you get to be in the safety and security of your car, or on the other side of the globe, in your basement on your laptop.
Right. But do you think there's anybody that deserves rudeness, that is worthy of rudeness?
Well, I wouldn't say no. I would say no, only because to me, it's more about what I'm going to be. I would prefer not to be. If I am deeming that there's an interaction that I'm receiving rude, thoughtless, nasty behavior from somebody, that is the last kind of person I want to be. I don't want to be that person. If I'm looking at that person or thinking of that person in a way that's like, wow, you really could learn some manners. You really could learn a little bit of class, then do I want to jump on down there with them and be that same person that I have just judged to be, a dick? Not really.
Exactly. I've never seen you be rude once in our whole friendship. Not once. Maybe you have, like on the low, but around me, you've never been rude to me.
I try to avoid being rude. I really, being rude doesn't feel good to me. You know what I mean? To other people, in the sense of being, just thoughtless or just ill-mannered. I don't know. It's not my deal. It's just not. It doesn't mean that I haven't been growing up and learning to be a civil, decent person. And every now and then I come close when I, am in a real hurry in the grocery store and, people are in my way. It could, some people could consider, but I think that's that's like your own personal definition of rudeness. So we may have different meanings of what it means.
I mean, it was her definition. We were just in a grocery store a few months back, and you were wildly aggressive. You are very, very aggressive in a grocery store. I think it's not rude, but other people might have a different feeling.
maybe, but that's their own journey. It's their own journey. I go through a grocery store like I'm in a NASCAR race.
Yeah. You remember that show where you have like 20 minutes to like put as much shit in your cart as that's you, but for no reason.
That is me, because that is me. And then I get out the door and I jump on and ride my cart all the way to my car.
Yeah, like a victory ride.
Yes.
After you've like scared like 7 or 8 different people in the grocery store.
It's the only way to shop. It's the only way to shop. But anyway, back to yes, being rude. But I just think that it's easy to get caught up in your own universe and thinking that you've got more stress than anybody else. Your stuff is more important. You're in a bigger hurry. You have, it's just all about you. And I think in this whole, it's all about me frame of mind, it's just easy to lose any sense of, civil decorum and just thoughtfulness. And I think that everybody is kind of in their own universe. I mean, we are all creating, our own lives, our own reality. But unless you are living alone, on a desert island, all of our realities and universes are commingling. So you kind of got to be a little, cognizant of the other people that you're inhabiting the space with. That's my thought anyway. And when also, when does, back to kind of our earlier point, when does common courtesy and politeness, it's a wonderful tool for promoting, just good vibes between people and good, like, healthy social interaction. But is there a point where that starts to get taken for granted and maybe a sign of weakness? And sometimes that can, provide an opportunity for people to start to get a sense of a false sense or a sense of entitlement, because it is so easy and everybody is so nice and polite. And I think that happens a lot in relationships. There be, a sense of entitlement kind of comes over you because it's been made really easy, because there is nobody maybe like in your face going, I don't think so.
Yeah, especially if you've been likable all day. I think that people nowadays want to be likable, and so they play a caricature of themselves just being somebody that people like all day long, 40 hours a week at your job, maybe even around your family. And then you go home to your spouse, and that's the only person that you can really be yourself with, and you go like all in, and you all the things that you wanted to be all day, all the fake shit that you did all day long, you just let loose on the person that you love, because you know that they're never going to go anywhere and they know you for who you are. And so they're strapped with all the fakeness that you're doing all day. So that's why I think that there's a balance with rudeness. I think that people perceive honesty as rude nowadays.
Yeah.
And I think that that is a disservice to everybody. I think that you can tell the truth and be a respectful human being, and the truth might be hard and it might not be likable, but it's still setting everybody else up for success, and you're not lying and being this fake version of yourself because you don't want to be rude.
Yeah. No, I agree with that. I think that there's a lot of value in being honest and direct, and sometimes that is people are uncomfortable with that. It's not soft enough. But I think you can deliver honesty and directness certainly in a way that's not over the top rude. It's just simply honest and direct. And overly sensitive people might feel like it's rude, but I really don't think it is, if it's, not meant in the spirit of being rude.
Yeah, if you have no malice behind it, you're just telling the truth. The truth might be hard, but that's okay. And then you're not bringing home all of the things you really wanted to say onto your relationship, or if you don't even have a relationship, just beating yourself up or resisting your own life or not taking care of yourself, because all day long you're being a fake version of yourself so that you don't seem rude. I think that's a giant waste of time, and you're living for 60, 70, 80, 90 years, you hope, and are you going to spend that whole time just playing a character of yourself? And then when you're 60 and 70, are you looking back at your life and going, who am I? How do I actually feel? I think that we can not be rude to a fault. So I lean in the direction of not necessarily being rude, but making sure that everything that comes out of my mouth is honest and direct. And you're the same way, Loree. You're very direct. I think that I've never met somebody as direct as me or more direct as me. You're more direct as me. And so there's moments where I'm uncomfortable, where I'm like, okay, that was very straightforward, unusual.
It's it's just a time saver.
Yeah.
As you can tell, I don't like wasting time.
Yeah, you don't like dancing around stuff. It's very cut and dry, which I think makes this friendship work, because I can smell somebody who's dancing around something a mile away. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
I would rather just have if it's something especially that, you think somebody's going to receive in a way that's going to make them uncomfortable or, then I would rather, some people want to avoid that or they want to like text about it. I would rather just quick have a conversation, like face to face is even the best way to me. And if face to face is impossible, then it's got to be on the phone. And if that's not possible, then maybe an email. But I really prefer to have conversations like that where you really have to talk about something that has some, gravity to it. I don't like avoiding it or doing the bullshit text thing. That's just not what I think text should be used for. So I like to just meet it head on.
Yeah, and on the same dime, I can apologize when I know that I'm rude. Like, I know my own shit. I do it for a living. I pay attention to myself. I know my shit. I know you do too. And so if I go above and beyond with my spouse, with you, with anybody in my life, even with a stranger, even with the guy in the car that we talked about earlier, I apologize to him for blocking him and getting Philly on him. I know when I'm rude.
Yeah.
And I always, because I want the same respect in return, I'm not going to expect anything from anybody else that I don't give out myself, because then that's not fair. Like, just forget it. Just
right.
Be all the things you want from other people, or don't expect it, is what I feel. And so I am very quick to apologize when I've gone too far. And as you know, I have a tendency to go too far or push a limit. And so, and inside of that can be rude, maybe not even on purpose. Some people are rude not on purpose,
Well, yeah, I mean, like you, though, I'm big on holding myself accountable for everything. So, if there is a time where I've actually, maybe something just came out the wrong way or, whatever, I will always be the first one to own my stuff, be accountable. And if a apology is in order, I'm there. I think accountability is another big thing that it's right up there with, what we first started talking about, just our manners and common courtesy just going out the door, because I really feel like accountability factors right into that.
I agree. And that's why I think you're amazing.
Well, gosh, thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks. You too.
Yeah,
but
wonderful.
But I think it's something that everybody should think about. And I think you should ask yourself if you are somebody that is, exercising common courtesy. Are you teaching your kids manners and common courtesy? Is it to the point of, the line, not crossing the line of being super fake and insincere, but just also understanding, I think, that people in general, just a general fact, people would much rather interact with people that are nice and reasonably thoughtful than with those who aren't. It's not rocket science, right? So simple things like a please and a thank you or an excuse me go a long way. Don't you think? It's not that hard.
Yeah, and you have this powerful instrument called language. Make sure that it's used in a way that is helpful, not hurtful. Like every once in a while, like if you're having a bad day, it's understandable to, to freak out or do whatever you got to do. But in general, being respectful of the person in front of you and not believing that you're the only person in the room. I think that we can become so self-absorbed and that we think that everybody else's feelings are our feelings, or we don't even think about anybody else at all because we're just trying to make it through the day in a survival type thing. People are going to react to you, not even from your words, but your energy. Like your energy can be rude. Your like stance, your body thing that you do can be rude. Anything can set somebody off. Why do that? Why not? Even if you're unhappy with yourself, work on that yourself. But if you want people to respond to you in a way that propels your life forward and helps you have a happy life, you know, it's in that community interaction. It's in you being somebody you want people to be for you.
I agree. Yes. Yes and yes. Just be nice.
Just be nice, damn it. Just be nice, damn it.
Just be nice. Just behave. Just behave.
just be nice. Just get it together. You're not 10. We're not on the playground. Don't push me off the slide. Just be nice to me. We're past that now.
Yeah. There we go. There we go. So what do you do with the what do you do with that big dude that just went barreling through traffic and is having a bad day and decided to piss off, half the population of LA, in traffic? What do you do with that?
Send him love.
Well, let's say you happen to see that person and you happen to work in the same place and you get there and you go, hey, Joe Schmo, you just cut me off and about 12 other people and you honked and you were just a real dick on the road. How would you handle that?
I think that I would handle it passive aggressively. I think that I would, in full honesty, if we worked at the same place, first of all, if we didn't work at the same place and it was being rude, I might flash him if I knew I would never see him again. Just to be shocking and then move on. And maybe it I don't know. But if we knew each other and I was going to see him at my own job, I would not do that. I think that I would walk up to him and say, do you need a hug? What is it that's going, are you okay? Because it seems like you're really, really, you're really angry. Is something going on? What's happening? I would inquire, but I think I would start it out with do you need a hug? What do you need, man? What is it that you need?
So I don't get. I mean, that's what's the passive aggressive?
Do you need a hug? If somebody walked up to me and said, "Hey, Candice, do you need a hug?" I would say, what the fuck? That's very passive aggressive. That's not asking me how I'm doing. That's saying there's something wrong with me and it passively telling me. And so I would probably go with you need a hug because I don't know who the person is or whatever.
Okay.
But I would try to inquire because probably nobody hears this man out. He probably feels very alone. And this is my assumption in the moment. In this imaginary moment. And so I would probably say, just inquire about how he feels so that he doesn't feel so alone in his feelings, and also make him feel accountable because somebody saw him and is now talking to him verbally. I don't know. What would you do?
Key his truck.
You would key his truck and I would flash him. That's the real thing.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Yeah, no, because that was just so much nice stuff there. I think that's really awesome. Yeah, I don't think I would have done any of that, but
you wouldn't? Really? You wouldn't have? What would you have done for real? In this situation, so you park right next to the dude and he gets out and you get out and he's just been a dick for 25 miles. Just crazy. Right. And now you're standing right next to him. What are you actually going to do in that moment?
Yeah, I think I would probably, it's hard to say, because hard to say. I'd put my keys in my purse before I did something I'd regret.
Yeah.
But no, because I pretty much just relax and ignore people like that on the road. But I would probably be like, dude, what is up with you today? Because you just left a trail of destruction on the road. So something you want to talk about?
Oh, okay, so you would let him know. You would not be passive. You would tell him what you saw.
Yeah,
that's much more.
I would be direct.
Yeah, I like that. I like that about you.
And I really don't feel like hugging you, so that's not going to happen. But I'm happy to listen if you need to get something off your chest,
right?
So
and
that you don't put everybody's life in danger on your way home.
Yeah. See, I think that if you said that to that guy, he would tell you to fuck off.
Maybe.
Yeah, he would. He would be like, no, because he feels like.
And I'd be like, all right, I'm here if you change your mind.
And then you would pull the keys back out and carve your name in his car. And then I would come up behind him and flash him, and then keep walking into
you would
work.
do like a hug rape.
I would hug rape him. I would like he wouldn't want it, and I would just run up behind him and just hold him. Like, hug rape. I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, like a forceful hug. Like they're like, no, I don't want it. And then I'm just like, yeah.
Like
I
an
find
act of violence hug.
Okay. That is probably the only act of violence I can think of myself doing is sneaking up on somebody where they're being a jerk and just be like, I'm gonna hug you and you don't want it. Yeah. Hug rape. Hashtag hug rape.
I don't care how much you scream no.
No. You mean yes. Hug rape. Yeah.
Oh my God. All right. So I just I think the main takeaway right here is that people everybody could probably just be a little nicer. You don't have to be fake. You don't have to be rude, but you don't have to be insincere either. And I think just understanding, that people kind of determine your value to them in large part by the way that you make them feel when they're in contact with you. Right. So if that's important to you, then you might want to just think about it.
Yeah, and just be nice to one another. We're all in this together. We're all having a hard time together. People in California and those fires, how horrible is that? Florida, the hurricane, how horrible is that? There's so many things that are happening, both positive and negative in our life, and we don't understand each other's plight. We're born from different families and parents, and it's just in understanding each other and trying to love each other the very best that we can.
Yeah, a few good manners, with your words and your actions. It just shows people that you have a measure of respect for them and yourself, really, and yourself. And it's just classy.
And it's classy. It's super classy. It's
like
classy.
That. Yeah.
It's super classy.
Hey, should we we're going to start a new segment. I think next week, right? So yeah. I'm super excited about this. We're going to start having guests on.
Yes, we are.
I think that's going to be exciting, but it's going to be our new segment called Going Rogue. And this is where we're going to be like interviewing special guests and asking them about a time when they maybe went a little rogue, but it changed the course of their life.
Yeah, we're going to have interesting guests on, people who have really pushed past barriers and really pushed back their own limits, passed through their own limits to get to a place where they want to be. And they were persistent and did amazing things in their life. I'm excited about this.
I am too. So we'll see what happens next week, but it should be pretty fun.
It's going to be fantastic.
Yeah.
We're not going to be rude to them once. It's going to be not rude.
No, there will be no rudeness.
No, we won't. Not even one time. I might flash them. But besides that,
well, since they'll be on the phone, go ahead if it makes you feel better.
Okay, done. There's 100% chance I will be flashing them.
So anyway, we hope you will join us though, and if you enjoyed what you heard here today, please feel free to go over to iTunes and give us a rating and tell us how you feel. And you can find us also on patreon.com. We're Talking Shift Podcast.
Yeah, and we're on We're Talking Shift Podcast WTS.com. So check us out there, and on all social media, on Facebook, on Instagram, on Twitter. We're everywhere on We're Talking Shift Podcast.
So y'all go have a great day. Make some shift happen.
You too, Gary V.
Be nice.
The preceding podcast was a TJ DeSantis production. Comments, questions, and inquiries can be directed to DeSantisProd@gmail.com.